Hello, thanks for clicking. I'm Mark Morse, and you're watching episode 6 of the Weekend Retrospect. I want to start out this video talking about how damn hot it was this week here in southeast Iowa. My air conditioner broke down, and I mean really broke down. It doesn't need Freon, it needs to be taken to the dump. This thing just burned out completely. It makes kind of a scary noise when I try to turn it on. I don't have money for a new air conditioner right now, so I've been sitting in front of these fans all the time. It's just been really hot. So what I've been doing a lot this week is I've been driving around in my car because my car has great air conditioning. I take my dog with me. My dog Elsa, she hates the heat more than I do. So we've been driving around to cool off when it just gets unbearable. There's been a couple times at night where I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just sweating and my pillow's just drenched with sweat, and Elsa's panting like a dog, actually. And I take her out to the car and we turn on the air conditioner. I try to sleep a little bit, but I can't sleep in that car. Anyway, it's been really hot. And what that has done is I haven't been really making any videos this week. Today it was cool enough. I should have made this video in the morning, but I waited too long. It got hot again today. And so now it's nighttime. It's about cool enough to where I can make a video. What I like to do with these videos, for my vinyl community friends, I like to start off with talking about the vinyl I've been listening to this week. And this week I'm only going to feature one record. I have listened to more, but this really has been a big one. It's Projekt Gemineye, What's on Your Mind. This has been released recently. I got it this week. Projekt Gemineye is the brainchild of Mark Anthony Kaye. This is the first Projekt Gemineye record I've ever purchased. I found out about him on Rachel's Ghost live stream, and then I've seen Mark Anthony on other live streams, and it just seems like such a genuine guy. Obviously puts a lot of work into this, so I was real excited to get this. If you can't tell already by the cover and some of the song titles, the back cover, it's prog rock, and so I know I have some big prog rock fans out there that would definitely love this. But let me go over some of this stuff. Look at this vinyl, this violet vinyl. Even the label's cool. That's like I would say that's 180 gram vinyl. Comes in this nice rice paper. It also came with this booklet with the lyrics, and everybody knows I'm a word man, so if you put lyrics in your record, it makes it much better for me. There's the songs. It came with a hype sticker. That's the hype sticker. Limited to 100 copies. This is the 8th full-length album by Projekt Gemineye, limited edition violet vinyl. If you look at the back, Mark Anthony Kaye, he signs it and he numbers it. I got number 29 out of 100, so I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to link to his Bandcamp so you can listen to his stuff and order it if you like. Just want to make, I almost forgot something here. It came with this little poster too. Anyway, I had never heard Projekt Gemineye before, and I put this on my turntable, not quite knowing what to expect. Immediately, you can tell he has put a lot of work into the production. It is a fantastic sounding album. I listened to it last night and then again this morning. The first side has 3 songs: Circle of Life, The Moment, and Searching for the Light. And B-side has The Little Chair, World on Edge, and The Wandering Mind. This album's great. On the first side, my favorite song is Searching for the Light, the last song on the first side. It's also the longest song. It's 6 minutes and 55 seconds. So prog fans know that prog rock songs tend to be longer than the normal songs. It doesn't get ridiculous here. There's no like 20-minute songs or anything like that. So Searching for a Light, 6:55, very doable, very accessible. Side 2 for me is phenomenal. I love side 2. The Little Chair is probably my favorite song on the whole record. World on Edge is great, and The Wandering Mind, side 2, to me is phenomenal. It's an absolutely great record, and I'm proud to own it, and I'm proud to recommend it to prog fans or just music fans in general. He obviously puts a lot of love and dedication into these records. It sounds really good. Mark is also a dog lover, and Mark's dog, Shadow, I believe the name was, died recently, and as a dog owner, and you other dog owners out there knows how devastating that can be. He still got these records out in great time. I just really admire him. So that is my vinyl review for this week. The other thing I like to do in each episode of the Week in Retrospect is to do at least a few shout outs about vinyl channels that I've been watching or enjoying through the week. And this week I've picked out 2 that I think you'll enjoy. The first one is Rich at Rich Strickler. I'll link to both my shout outs below. But Rich is a man who is, I would say, classic rock based. He always takes me back to where my love of music evolved. I just like hearing Rich talk about it. It always reminds me of my roots. And the second person I want to shout out is Tony P at 2 from the Trunk. Tony P at 2 from the Trunk. Very similar, classic rock based, talks very intelligently about music. I've just been enjoying these 2 channels a lot lately, and if you feel like it, subscribe. They're both great guys, as well as people with incredible tastes in music. Right now I just want to show you a snippet from a video from David at Garage Geek. You know, sometimes I do these videos and I don't feel like I'm really offering anything to anybody. I'm not sure why anybody would watch these things, and sometimes I get a little down on myself and I'm like, you know what, I should leave this to people who know what they're talking about. But every now and again, I'll get some type of encouragement that really keeps me going. And I got such encouragement from this video from David from Garage Geek. Let's take a look.
So, Mark Morris has been doing a killer job with his Saturday night videos. I think that those videos of his are probably the best thing on YouTube right now for a new YouTuber to come up and then just do so well with his videos, where he takes pieces, he edits, he adds like special effects, he changes the colors, then he adds clips from his life he does on a day-to-day basis, and like he even went into his work and interviewed people. I mean, it's really refreshing what he's doing. So I also want to shout out his Sinead O'Connor and Rodney Dangerfield impersonations. So I was laughing at those. Even in the comments, I was like, calm down, Sinead, and calm down, Rodney, because it's pretty funny. He's killing it over there. And if you haven't watched his videos, go watch one of his, I forget what they're called, Saturday Night something, the Week in Recap or something like that.
I did add some visual embellishment there, but those are all David's words, and I just can't thank him enough for his encouragement, his kindness. And I just want to remind everybody, when I started this Week in Retrospect series, I practically stole it from David. He has a series that he calls Friday Night Chats. That's what I kind of base this on. So thanks again, David. I really appreciate your kindness, your encouragement, and let me steal your ideas so blindly. Usually about this part of the video, I would talk about books, or maybe comics, or maybe art. But this time I want to do something different. Last week I told the story of the guy who broke into my house and how my faithful dog, Elsa, helped me get him out of the house. And I featured some Ring camera shots, and it reminded me that I have quite a bit of Ring camera footage from around the house. I have a Ring camera up in the front door and in the back door of my house, and I've caught some weird things. So I thought I would show some of these videos. I have a lot of them. The first one is one I call the Staring Man. And this guy would walk in front of my house. It was probably lasted a month and a half, 2 months. And very early in the morning, usually right before I got up for work, he would stop in front of my house and just stare at it. Sometimes it looked like he was talking to somebody that wasn't there, but I just thought I'd show you one session and just see what you think. So that was the Staring Man. The Staring Man seemed fairly harmless. I think he might have had some type of psychological issue. This next guy, though, I call him Caught in the Act. Caught in the Act. I was at work one day and I got a message that somebody was in my backyard. Now, usually when I get these messages, by the time I'm able to check the camera, whoever was there had been there and gone. But this guy was slow and he lingered. And so I was able to catch him in the act, and you can watch what happens.
Please stay out of my yard. Please stay out of my yard.
Sorry.
So, I did turn that video in to the police because he looked very suspicious. I also posted it on a local Facebook page where people talk about the town and stuff that's going on. And I put the video up and I said, does anybody recognize this guy? He didn't look like he was up to any good. And lots of people recognized him. He got identified. He had just like within the week he was arrested for apparently he walks around during the daytime when people are at work and goes through their sheds and garages and looks for metal and stuff to take. So he ended up getting arrested. There was a period of time where there was a lot of suspicious activity going on right next door to me. The house was eventually condemned, and occasionally people would park their cars instead of in front of that house, they would park it in front of my house, and sometimes I think they would just nod off. Every now and again, somebody would doze off out there, and the cops would come and check them out. And here's one such incident. I call it Suspicious Vehicle.
Negative, that's further, just take candy in the corner.
some of the video footage I capture on the Ring cams is kind of scary. And this next one is one such video. I call him Morning Door Checker. This guy came to my back door just before I got up, or just as I was getting up. You could see that he's checking the door to see if it's locked. He knocks ever so lightly, but not a knock where you think he really wants anybody to hear it. And it was just odd because he just kind of stood there and talked to himself. Nothing ever happened, but it's just kind of a freaky video. This next video I just call Porch Pirate. This guy actually got away. I had ordered a extension cord, and so it was just a $14 extension cord that he got, but it still really pissed me off that somebody just came up and got it. I did turn this into the police, and they really put a lot of work into this. They called me up for like 3 or 4 days, giving me updates and how they thought they knew it was him, but who it was, but they couldn't quite pin it on him. I was surprised they put in so much work for a $14 extension cord, but I appreciated it. But if you know this guy, tell him to give me my extension cord back. So this last bit, I have had like lots of trespassers, and they would come all times of the night and morning, sometimes in broad daylight. Anyway, I didn't want to do a bunch of single videos on trespassers. Most of them were probably up to nothing malicious. They're probably just taking a shortcut. Some of them do look like they're doing something suspicious. But anyway, I put them all together in what I call the Trespass Montage. Of course, not all the stuff my cameras capture are frightening or criminal. Sometimes it catches funny stuff. This next video, I call it Elsa versus the Mail Carrier. And this poor woman, she came to deliver my mail just at the time I was taking Elsa out. And I didn't know she was up front of the house delivering mail. I was just going up front to check. And to my shock, she was up there, and my dog Elsa really doesn't like people in the yard. don't worry about her too much. She wasn't bit. She was scared plenty. I bought her some cherry cordials and gave them to her one day. I was able and talked to her and stuff. She was very friendly. She laughed about it, and so there were no hard feelings. I did feel genuinely bad because, as you could tell, that bark was terrifying, and Elsa was really going to do some damage if she got to her. This next video I call Groundhog versus Cat. I almost didn't put this in because all the action is at the bottom of the screen, and it's not real easy to see. I did blow a section up, but it kind of pixelated the images a little bit. But I decided I just like the way the groundhog stands up victorious at the end, so I decided to put this in. This is Groundhog versus Cat. And then this last video I'm going to show you is probably my favorite one that I have right now. It's my niece Lily playing in the snow with my dog Elsa. Now Lily used to come over just about every day when I was at work and take Elsa out and just hang out with her, keep her company while I was working. After the break-in that I talked about in my last video, Lily doesn't come over here anymore. She doesn't want to be alone in the house, even with Elsa here. So this, I don't get to see these scenes anymore. But this is Elsa and Lily playing in the snow in my backyard. So now we come to the part of the video that is really my favorite part of these videos. It's where I kind of go through the past week and go day by day, hitting the high points, low points. Sometimes it's vinyl related, sometimes it's film related, sometimes it's book related, sometimes it's not related to anything except what was just going on during my day. So Sunday is usually my chore day. I do all the stuff that I put off all week and try to get it all done on Sunday, like the laundry and dishes, that kind of stuff. It was so hot, I didn't get much done on Sunday, but I did watch a couple of live streams, and a person that I've been watching lately is a channel called Stephanie West, and she has started doing live streams on Sunday mornings, and I really hope she keeps up with them because I enjoy them. The only thing is sometimes they coincide with when I'm going out for lunch, and a lot of times my niece and I go out for lunch. And so here's a clip from Stephanie West's live stream from Sunday, where she asks her audience what they're doing for the rest of the day, and I mentioned that I was getting ready to take my niece out for lunch.
I will gather up some more records to show next time. And niece out to lunch. Oh yeah, very nice. What a good uncle. That's awesome. Well, you guys enjoy your Sunday. I hope it's a good one.
Then later in the evening on Sunday, every other Sunday, Steve from All the Worlds of Stage hosts a program called Sunday Vinyl Confessions, and I try to catch that when I can. So I was able to catch that later in the evening. He had Trevor from Flat, Round, and Spun on there, Chris Prophy, and during his broadcast, I made a comment in the peanut gallery and it gave Steve a disturbing revelation.
Apparently, Mark has a camera in my house that I'm not aware of.
Oh.
'Cause, I don't think I've shared that with anybody.
So Monday, Mondays are never really great days, but this one was particularly rough on me. I'm not sure why. I think it was because I wasn't sleeping well because of the heat. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, kind of irritable, uh, more sensitive about things than I probably should be, but I was having a rough day. About midday, I told my boss, hey, can I run up to the station? I'm just going to grab a sandwich, and just be off campus for a few minutes. And of course, she said, yeah, go ahead. So I went up there and I got myself a tenderloin, but I had a little problem with the mustard packet. And I just want to show that picture. And that kind of represented how Monday was going for me. So what I did is there's two people that I contact when I'm having a really rough time. One is my niece Lily, who I've talked about a lot. And so I sent her a message saying this has been a rough day for me, Lily, and I'm struggling. And she sent me a photograph that I'll put up here. And it said under there, keep your head held high, Mark. And later, I got that photograph framed because it really meant a lot to me that day. The second person that I call when I'm really struggling is my daughter, Luxie. And she's a little harder to catch. She's in Los Angeles. She's 2 hours different from me, so sometimes it's tricky timing things right. But I was able to get a hold of Luxie, and in her true form, she was working on a project. She was designing her pickleball paddle. She was learning how to play pickleball, and she's just such a delight. And it's hard to be in a bad mood after you've talked to Luxie. So I wanted to say thank you to Lily and Luxie for getting me through a day. And then I did not forget, Monday was International Dog Day. So in my last episode, I did talked about my dog, the blue heeler Elsa, a lot. But I did want to include this little snippet of Elsa enjoying some ice cream on International Dog Day. So Tuesday, the biggest thing that happened, or the happiest thing that happened for me, was a storm rolled in and cooled things down for about 20 minutes. But to me, there's nothing more satisfying than when you've been suffering a heat wave for a while for a storm to roll in. So I just filmed the storm as it came in. Unfortunately, like I said, after the storm passed, it got not only hot, but incredibly humid. So I went to bed feeling pretty good, but I woke up in the middle of the night, just drenched in sweat. My dog, again, panting like a dog. And it was so hot, I decided, you know what, I am going to sleep in the car tonight. I don't care. I'm going to make myself fall asleep in that car. It's just too hot. So I took my dog out. I think it was like 3:30 in the morning. She was very confused. She got in the car, and she's usually pretty excited when we get in the car, and she started barking like she thought we were going to go somewhere. And then when she saw that I'd reclined the seat back and I wasn't going anywhere, she was very confused. I was hoping she would lay down and just relax and go to sleep so we could both sleep out there. I dozed off for maybe an hour. I woke up and she was still at full attention. She was in the back seat just looking around, and I could tell she was not going to get any rest because she was worried that something was going to happen to me out there. So I brought us both back in and tried to get some sleep. Didn't get much sleep that night. Ended up calling in the next day. So after I called in on Wednesday, I slept in as much as I could, um, got up, and I'm sort of what you might call a caffeine addict. I have to have a certain amount of caffeine in me by noon, or else I get these incredible headaches. So I packed up Elsa. We drove around in the air-conditioned car, and we went to some fancy coffee drive-through shop and got some iced coffee. I didn't give any iced coffee to Elsa, but I did buy her a pup cup. It was hot most of the day, well, all day on Wednesday, so I spent most of that day sitting in front of the fan or taking Elsa for rides just to get in the air conditioning. At nighttime, just to kind of relax and calm down, I listened to one of my spooky, scary stories from my new vinyl record I purchased recently.
But a dare was a dare. And he came to the graveyard. He opened the iron gate of the graveyard. The moon shone on the gravestones all around him. And they stood white, looking like ghosts. And he looked for the old man's grave.
So Thursday came, and it was sort of a repeat of Monday. I was just not in a good mood. I was down and out. Just from the heat, not sleeping well. I go into work. It was just one of those days where everything was going wrong, and it was just an unpleasant day. However, when I got off work, I was pleased to find that Stephanie West, who I mentioned on Sunday, she was a guest panelist on the Steve Westman live stream. So I tuned into that, and that kind of cheered me up. I came in at the point where Stephanie was talking about her Devo record, Are We Not Men?
And so
Let me see. Hang on. Put it up.
My dad and I just remember going, like, looking at this catalog, going, "Gosh, I want all this stuff in here."
Mm.
You know, I want the Energy Dome and like they have postcards, the hat pin, the shirt. Like, I got really excited looking at this when I was a kid.
Mark Morris is saying, Stephanie, you have excellent taste in the records. There you go.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
And
thank you. Yeah,
Jeff,
Mark's been awesome.
So Friday was the first cool day all week. Friday is the day that Lily and I pick a movie to watch, and we decided to watch Priscilla, based on the book Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. Before we watched it, Lily mentioned to me that her tarantulas were out. And I've talked about Lily's menagerie of odd and exotic pets in several videos, so I'm not going to go over all that again. But I've been trying to capture these tarantulas out so I can get some actual footage. I was able to do that this time. So I'm just going to give you a quick view of Lily's room and Lily feeding the tarantula. Tarantulas out today.
This is the least chocolate voice, actually. You want it. Stare yourself on the watch.
So like I said, the movie that we had decided to watch was Priscilla. This is a movie that Lily had seen several times. She really liked it and wanted me to watch it.
Just what is the intent here, Mr. Presley? You got women throwing themselves at you. Why my daughter?
Well, sir, I happen to be very fond of your daughter.
This is what Wikipedia has to say about Priscilla. Priscilla is a 2023 American biographical drama film written, directed, and produced by Sofia Coppola, based on the 1985 memoir Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley, who serves as an executive producer. It follows the life of Priscilla, played by Callie Spaney, S-P-A-E-N-Y. I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering this poor woman's name. And her complicated romantic relationship with Elvis Presley. Anyway, this was just an incredible film. I'm going to call her Kaylee because I can pronounce that name better. But she is such an incredible actress. She played Priscilla from the ages of 14 to 28, and she did a great job through the whole thing. Actually, when she was playing the 14-year-old, I thought she looked younger. I thought she looked like she was 12. And so I asked Lily how old was she when she made this movie. She was 25 when she made this movie. So she honestly looked like a teenage girl. In fact, it was a little uncomfortable watching her interacting with the Elvis actor Jacob Elordi because she did look so young, and it did not seem right. But I felt better when I found out she was 25. This movie was a nuanced movie. There were several opportunities where Sofia Coppola could have gone down these rabbit holes, but what she did was she gave the nuance of what was going on and just kept going. It was an interesting technique, I thought. There were a couple times where I thought it could have gone a little deeper, but I understand what she was doing and why she did it that way. It really was a nice progression. The one thing that I was really looking forward to that didn't really happen was, this was during the 60s, a lot of it. And I asked Lily, I said, are there any Beatles references in there? Because, I love the Beatles and I wanted to see the Beatles referenced. They do reference the Beatles in a very minor little short way. I was a little disappointed, but it wasn't a Beatles movie. It was a Priscilla movie. Great cinematography. You really got the feel of what Priscilla went through without getting deep into all the, like I said, rabbit holes. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I would definitely recommend it. Lily seemed to think that I was going to hate this movie, and she kept saying, you know, if you don't like this, we can watch another movie. I really did like it, and I would recommend it. So that brings us to today, Saturday. I really slept well. I got up and Lily and we went out for some breakfast. So that pretty much does it for this week. Thanks for spending your week with me. I'll see you again next week.
He's killing it over there.